Let me tell you the most dangerous lie you were ever sold. It wasn't told to you once. It was told to you thousands of times before you could even read. It was in every commercial, every social feed, every aspirational Instagram story from someone whose car payment exceeds your rent. The lie is this: looking wealthy and being wealthy are the same thing. They are not. They are, in fact, the exact opposite of each other. And the financial industry has spent billions of dollars making sure you never figure that out. Here is what they know that you don't. The moment a dollar enters your checking account, there is an entire invisible machine built by engineers, behavioral psychologists, and data scientists designed with one singular purpose: to make that dollar leave as fast as possible. One-click checkout, next-day delivery, buy now, pay later, auto-renewing subscriptions buried in your bank statement. They have spent decades engineering the fastest possible route between your paycheck and their profit margins. And while you are busy spending money to perform success for people you barely know, you are missing the only financial move that actually matters: becoming an owner. This is the John Bogle insight that changed everything. Bogle didn't just build Vanguard, he solved the equation. The average American spends their entire life as a consumer, buying the products of great corporations, funding the profits of great corporations, never sharing in those profits. The moment you redirect even a fraction of your spending into low-cost index funds, you stop being a consumer and start being an owner. You stop funding the machine and start being the machine. But to redirect that money, you first have to get it back from the system designed to take it. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. 2 years ago, my financial life looked like a crime scene. I was pulling $63,000 a year. I had $812 in savings. Not $8,000, not $8,100, $812, less than most people spend on a weekend in Vegas. I had a closet full of things I didn't need, a credit card doing quiet damage, and absolutely zero investment accounts. I was the perfect consumer. High income, zero assets, maximum anxiety. The day I finally looked at my bank statements and actually saw what I was doing, not just glanced at a colorful pie chart, but really read the numbers, I felt something I wasn't expecting. I felt embarrassed. Not broke embarrassed, complicit embarrassed. Like I had been willingly walking into a trap every single month and smiling on the way in. That was the moment I decided I needed a completely new operating system for money. I didn't find it on a trading app. I didn't find it in a hedge fund prospectus. I found it in a philosophy that is roughly a century old, born in a culture that views money, waste, and ownership in almost the exact opposite way America does. I found it in Japan. And when I combined 3 specific Japanese mental models with the relentless mathematics of Bogle's index fund philosophy, something genuinely startling happened. I saved my first $10,000 in 11 months. On the same income, in the same apartment, with a life that was, honestly, better than before. Let me show you exactly how. Pillar 1. The Friction Protocol. In 1904, a Japanese journalist named Hani Motoko published a household finance system called Kakeibo. In translation, it just means household account book. But I want you to understand what it actually is in the context of the modern economy. It is the single most powerful act of financial resistance available to you. The American economy has one obsession: removing friction from your spending. Every UX decision made by every major consumer platform has the same goal: to make the gap between impulse and purchase as close to zero as possible. Saved card details, biometric payment. Complete your order at 2 a.m. from your phone in bed. They want your brain completely offline at the moment of purchase. Kakeibo is the antidote. It is the deliberate physical reintroduction of friction into your financial life. Here is the practice. Every evening, you sit down with a physical notebook. Not an app, not a spreadsheet, a notebook. And you write down every dollar you spent that day. In your own handwriting, in ink, on paper. What happens next is not budgeting. It is a neurological event. When your hand physically writes $47 DoorDash or $138 things at Target I don't remember buying, something happens in your brain that a pie chart on an app simply cannot replicate. The app does the work, so your brain stays numb. But when you are doing the writing, you cannot look away. You are staring at a worker you fired for no reason. In the Bogle philosophy, every dollar is a worker. It either works for you in the market, compounding your future, or it works for someone else's revenue target. Kakeibo forces you to see, in permanent ink, exactly how many workers you are sending away. After 30 days of this practice, something shifts. The DoorDash order starts to feel different before you place it. The impulse buy at checkout starts to feel like a betrayal of the person you are building toward. You are not using willpower. You are changing the information your brain receives before it makes a decision. That is how you stop the bleeding. But stopping the bleeding is only the first move. Pillar 2. The opportunity cost of waste. Mottainai. There is a Japanese word with no direct English translation. Mottainai. It describes the feeling of deep regret, almost shame, when something of value is wasted or discarded before its time has come. In Japan, throwing away functioning food, replacing something that still works perfectly, or discarding an item simply because a newer version exists is considered a genuine cultural failure. It is not thrift. It is not cheapness. It is the recognition that waste is a moral act because waste has a cost that extends far beyond the trash can. Americans have weaponized the opposite philosophy. We waste 30% of our groceries. We replace our phones the moment the next model launches. We lease new cars every 3 years not because the old one failed, but because it started to feel boring. We are a nation structurally addicted to the dopamine hit of the upgrade. And here is what that actually costs you. Let's say you throw away $40 worth of groceries every week because you didn't plan, didn't use leftovers, didn't pay attention. In the American money mindset, that is $40. Annoying, but meaningless in the big picture. In the Bogle money mindset, that is not $40. That is a capital allocation decision. That is $160 a month of your future self's freedom thrown directly into a trash bag. If you take that $160, stop wasting it, and instead route it into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund with a historical average return of 8% annually, do you know what your grocery waste becomes over 30 years? $240,000. $250,000 in the trash because of leftovers. The moment you truly understand compound interest, not intellectually, but viscerally, Mottainai stops being a cultural concept. It becomes a ruthless financial lens. You look at your slightly worn jacket, and you do not see something to replace. You see compounding capital wearing durable fabric. You look at your 5-year-old Honda, and you do not see an embarrassment. You see a badge of mathematical honor. Every dollar you do not waste is a dollar accelerating toward ownership. Pillar 3. The 80% rule. This is the one that will actually change your life. This is the mechanism that transforms everything else from nice ideas into a compounding machine. In Okinawa, there is an ancient Confucian eating principle called Hara Hachi Bu. It translates simply as, eat until you are 80% full. Do not gorge yourself. Leave room. Leave margin. Okinawa has one of the highest concentrations of centenarians on Earth. The longevity researchers who study it keep pointing to this single habit as a core driver. The intentional restraint, the margin left in the system. Now apply that to your paycheck. Most Americans live at 100% capacity. They make $5,000 a month and find a way to spend $5,000 a month. When they get a raise, they do not invest the difference. They upgrade their apartment, their car, their wardrobe. Their lifestyle perfectly, invisibly expands to consume every dollar they generate. They are financially sick, financially exhausted, and they cannot understand why, because they are working hard and earning well. The 80% rule is the reframe. You must design your life to run on 80% of your income. The remaining 20% has one destination: the market. If you bring home $5,000 a month, you build a life that costs $4,000. That $1,000 gap is not deprivation. It is your margin. And in the Bogle system, you automate it. The morning after your paycheck lands, that 20% is electronically transferred into your brokerage account before you ever see it. You buy VOO. You buy VTSAX. You live on the 80%, and you never feel the 20% because it was never available to spend. Two things happen when you do this consistently. First, the math becomes inevitable. $1,000 a month invested at 8% over 30 years is $1.5 million. This is not optimism. This is arithmetic. Second, and more importantly, your identity changes. You stop being someone who is trying to save. You become someone who invests first and spends what remains. That is a completely different relationship with money, and it is the one that builds generational wealth. Now,
Getting to $10,000 in investments is the first war. But there is a second war, and most people lose it before they even realize it has started.
The second war is sustainability. The reason most people fail to maintain their financial systems is not lack of income. It is not lack of knowledge. It is burnout. They try to change everything at once. Cancel every subscription, eat nothing but rice, live like a monk. And by the third week, they are right back where they started, except now they also feel like a failure. The Japanese have a solution for this too. It is called Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement through small, consistent action. Toyota made it famous. But in daily Japanese life, Kaizen is the recognition that 1% better, repeated over time, produces outcomes that dramatic overhauls never can. This month, you do not eliminate all dining out, you reduce it by 10%. Next month, you increase your automatic investment contribution by 1%. The month after that, you cancel one streaming service. Then you switch one name brand item in your grocery cart to the generic. None of these changes register as significant. That is the point. They do not trigger your brain's fear center. They do not feel like sacrifice. But they compound, exactly like money compounds, until one day you look at your savings rate and it has moved from 4% to 22%, and you genuinely cannot identify the moment it happened. And through all of this, there is one question that the apps and the calculators will never ask you, but that you must be able to answer. What is the money actually for? The Japanese concept of ikigai is your answer. It is your reason for being, your core purpose that gives meaning to daily life. Not your dream job, your actual reason. The thing that makes the small decisions obvious. When you know your ikigai, whether that is being fully present in your children's lives without the weight of financial anxiety, or having the freedom to walk away from work that drains you, every unnecessary purchase stops being tempting. It stops being about discipline. It becomes irrelevant. The $60 impulse buy is not discipline-worthy. It is simply not part of your story. And then there is wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is the Japanese aesthetic of finding beauty in things that are imperfect, well-used, and aging. The scratched table that has hosted hundreds of meals. The sweater with the small repair that you know the story behind. The car that runs perfectly despite being 7 years old. In America, imperfection is a trigger for replacement. A hairline scratch on a phone screen is marketed as a reason to buy the new model. The slightly flattened couch cushions are framed as an invitation to browse furniture websites at midnight. The entire consumer economy depends on your dissatisfaction with things that work. Wabi-sabi is the antidote. When you genuinely find satisfaction in what you already own, the financial outcome is staggering. Americans spend roughly $9,500 per year on categories driven almost entirely by aesthetic dissatisfaction: clothing, home goods, electronics. A 25% reduction from choosing to keep things longer and repair instead of replace redirects $2,300 per year into your investments. At 8% over 25 years, That single philosophical shift produces nearly $180,000. You are building wealth simply by finding beauty in what you already have. The final pieces of the system are structural. Chokin is the Japanese practice of saving before spending, not after. The American sequence is earn, spend, hope there is something left. There is never anything left. Spending fills income like water fills a container. The Chokin sequence is earn, save, then spend what remains. Automated. The morning your paycheck arrives, the investment transfer fires automatically. $960 leaves on the day of deposit and disappears into your index funds. Your brain adapts to a $3,840 spending reality within weeks, because the option to spend the $960 simply does not exist. Once a year, you perform osoji, the Japanese deep clean. You pull every bank statement. You find every forgotten subscription, every insurance premium that can be renegotiated, every allocation that can be optimized. You clean the engine so it runs efficiently for the next 12 months. And through all of it, you pursue free living. The Japanese call it shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, the practice of finding restoration in nature, in presence, in things that cost nothing. American leisure has been entirely monetized. We have been taught that entertainment requires a transaction. When you break that equation, when you build a weekend around a long walk, cooking with people you love, a library, a park, you discover something unsettling. Your quality of life goes up while your spending goes down simultaneously. Finally, there is Hansei, honest monthly self-reflection. You sit with your notebook, look at the ink on the page, and ask 3 questions without judgment. Did I meet my goal? What spending brought genuine value? What will I do differently next month? You do not reflect to punish yourself. You reflect because that is how systems improve. Here is what I want you to understand before we close. None of these practices sound like aggressive wealth-building strategies. A notebook, eating until you are 80% full, finding beauty in a scratched table, automating a transfer before you wake up. None of these are the kind of thing a Wall Street bank would put on a billboard. But when you stack them, when you run all of them simultaneously, day after day, year after year, they produce something that a high income alone never can. They produce a relationship with money that cannot be broken by a bad market, a job loss, or a social media feed full of people who appear richer than you. The wealthiest people I have studied, not the loudest ones, not the ones posting cars online, but the ones who sleep through market corrections without checking their phones, all share the same trait. They understand at a molecular level that looking wealthy and being wealthy are not the same game. They chose the second game, and they chose it quietly. This is what the $10,000 threshold actually represents. It is not just a number. It is the moment you prove to yourself that the system works. It is the moment you cross the line from consumer being farmed by the market to owner, capturing the growth of the global economy. You do not need a hedge fund. You do not need a six-figure salary. You need a notebook, a Vanguard account, and the quiet ruthlessness to pay attention. The machine wants you asleep. It is time to wake up.